Schaeffer, and I'm going to talk to you about language development. Here is my visual representation of language development. So much like the life stages of a butterfly, language occurs in stages. So a butterfly starts as an egg, turns into a caterpillar, which eventually transforms into a chrysalis, which hatches into a butterfly. Similarly, language develops in stages. So babies' earliest vocalizations are involuntary cries. Eventually, they begin cooing, and by 12 months, most babies can speak a word or two. And by age 2, children are forming telegraphic sentences. Our book states on page 7 that as children progress through the discovery of language in their first 3 years, there are predictable patterns in the emergence and development of many features of the language they are learning. So just like a butterfly goes through stages, starting from an egg and eventually turning into a butterfly, language develops in a similar way. It starts off as crying or vocalizations. Eventually, babies form words, which eventually turn into sentences and normal language. So, and then also in addition, just as in a butterfly can't skip stages of development, they can't go from an egg to a butterfly without the in-between stages. A child can't go from cooing to full sentences. They have to learn how to form words in between. Looking at the first theory of language development, which is Skinner's behaviorist theory, children, according to this theory, children learn language by imitating others. So this theory gives great influence to the environment. If a child has an environment that's void of language, it would, according to the behaviorist theory, be very difficult to learn language because they would have nothing to imitate. So in terms of the butterfly stages, if a behaviorist theory was the case, the caterpillar would need to imitate an older butterfly in order to go through the stages of development. The innatist perspective, which is led by Noam Chomsky, holds that language develops based on several innate principles. So in other words, children are biologically programmed to learn language, and the environment plays just a very small role in development. So in terms of the butterfly analogy, that would mean that the caterpillar that hatches from the egg knows innately how to become a butterfly, and they don't need to have seen the process before in order to do it themselves. He just instinctively knows how to form a chrysalis and turn into a butterfly. The third and final perspective is the interactionist or developmental theory. And in this theory, the innate abilities of the child and the environment both play important roles in language development. Depending on who you talk to, the environment might be more important than the innate abilities or vice versa. But so going back to the butterfly, this means that the butterfly has, or the caterpillar has some instinctive knowledge of how to form into a butterfly, but they also will have needed to see the process happen before. So after reading this chapter and learning about the different theories of language development, my question is, does the difficulty of learning a second language later in life support the critical period hypothesis? Because if language development is a mix of environment and innate principles, then you would think it would be easier to learn a second language, because although the environment may be lacking, the learner should have some kind of innate abilities to learn the language. So that is my question. Thank you.